Every one of us has faced moments when the mind becomes our greatest enemy. It whispers doubts, creates fear, and builds walls that do not exist. It tells you you can't. It tells you you're not ready. But today I ask you to challenge that voice, because strength is not found in your muscles. Strength is found in the space between your thoughts. The mind is like an untrained horse, wild, restless, always wanting to run wherever it pleases. If you let it lead, it will take you through chaos. But if you learn to guide it, to calm it, to command it, that same force becomes your greatest ally. Most people spend their lives reacting to emotion, to circumstance, to fear. But mastery begins when you learn to observe rather than react. When you feel anger, you do not become anger. When you feel pain, you do not become pain. You see it, you breathe through it, and you remain unmoved. That is strength. Your challenges are not meant to break you. They are meant to introduce you to yourself. Every hardship, every failure, every long night is an invitation to step closer to the person you are destined to become. But that transformation only happens when you stop running from discomfort and begin walking toward it. When you face the storm, you learn that you are the storm. When you confront fear, you learn that fear was only a shadow. And when you rise above your mind, you realize there was never an enemy to defeat, only a truth to awaken. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Do not wait for motivation. Discipline will take you where motivation never could. And every time you silence the voice of weakness, you strengthen the voice of power. The journey is not easy, but remember, easy paths do not make strong people. Mountains are climbed one breath, one step, one choice at a time. So today, make a decision. Decide that your mind will no longer control you. Decide that no fear, no doubt, no obstacle will stand in the way of your purpose. Train harder, breathe deeper, stand taller. And when your mind says, I can't, you will smile and answer, watch me. Be stronger than your mind, because once you master the mind, you master life itself. Every one of us has faced moments when the mind becomes our greatest enemy. It whispers doubts, creates fear, and builds walls that do not exist. It tells you that you are not enough, that success belongs to someone else, that your strength has limits. This voice is soft but powerful. It can make even the strongest person hesitate. It can make the most talented person give up. But here is the truth. The mind is not the enemy. It is simply untrained. The problem is not that your mind is against. Every one of us has faced moments when the mind becomes our greatest enemy. It whispers doubts, creates fear, and builds walls that do not exist. It tells you that you are not enough, that success belongs to someone else, that your strength has limits. This voice is soft but powerful. It can make even the strongest person hesitate. It can make the most talented person give up. But here is the truth. The mind is not the enemy. It is simply untrained. The problem is not that your mind is against you. The problem is that you have never learned how to master it. Most people live their entire lives being controlled by thoughts they never chose to believe. Thoughts of failure, thoughts of fear, thoughts of regret. These thoughts appear, and instead of observing them, people accept them as truth. But the mind is like a mirror. It reflects what you allow it to see. If you show it fear, it will multiply fear. If you show it courage, it will reflect strength. The mind loves comfort. It wants to keep you safe, unchallenged, and predictable. That is why when you step into discomfort, when you try something new, when you aim higher than before, your mind begins to resist. It whispers, stop, you've done enough, this is too hard. But the moment you stop listening to that voice is the moment you begin to grow. Growth is never comfortable because it requires you to leave the old version of yourself behind, and the mind will always protect what is familiar. It will tell you that staying the same is safer, that you should wait for the right time, that maybe you are not ready yet. But the truth is you will never feel ready. Readiness is not a feeling, it is a decision. The person who grows is not the one who feels no fear, but the one who acts despite it. To be stronger than your mind means to become aware of the patterns that hold you back. Every time you face a challenge, your mind recalls the past moments when you failed, times when you felt pain, experiences that left scars. It uses those memories to convince you that this time will be the same. But the past only has power when you keep feeding it energy. When you choose to observe these thoughts without emotion, they begin to lose control. You start to realize that you are not your thoughts, you are the awareness behind them. Thoughts come and go like clouds passing through the sky. They only stay if you invite them to. The more you practice awareness, the stronger you become. This strength is not visible from the outside. It is quiet, steady, and unshakable. It is the kind of strength that allows you to remain calm in chaos, to act with clarity when everything around you is uncertain, to move forward when your mind is screaming for you to stop. The mind is like an untrained horse, wild, restless, and constantly searching for control. If you let it run freely, it will drag you in every direction, chasing distractions, fears, and desires that lead nowhere. It wants to move you without purpose, reacting to every sound, every feeling, every change in the world around it. But when you take hold of the reins, when you begin to guide it with awareness, it becomes something extraordinary. The same force that once led you into chaos can now lead you toward balance, focus, and inner peace. This is why discipline is not a punishment but a form of liberation. It teaches the mind to obey the will of your deeper self, not the fleeting impulses that rise and fade every moment. Without training, the mind is a storm. With training, it becomes still water, reflective, calm, and powerful. Most people believe they control their thoughts, but in truth, their thoughts control them. Every reaction, every burst of anger, every wave of anxiety is the result of a mind that has never been taught stillness. It is constantly reacting, interpreting, and creating stories that have no end. The untrained mind feeds on noise. It needs something to focus on, something to fear, something to focus on, something to fear, something to want. When it has nothing, it feels lost, and so it invents new problems to keep itself busy. This is why silence is so uncomfortable for many people. In silence, they begin to hear their own thoughts clearly, and for the first time they realize how much noise lives inside them. To master the mind is to face that noise without judgment, to sit still even when the mind wants to run, to breathe deeply even when thoughts grow loud. Over time, this patience transforms chaos into clarity. When you start to guide the mind rather than follow it, you begin to notice the space between thought and action. That space is where freedom lives. Instead of reacting automatically, you learn to respond consciously. Someone criticizes you, and instead of anger, you find understanding. A challenge arises, and instead of panic, you find strategy. The mind still speaks, but you no longer obey every command it gives. You listen, you observe, and you choose. This ability to choose, to pause before action, is the foundation of strength. It separates those who are ruled by impulse from those who move with purpose. Training the mind is not about suppressing emotions or denying reality. It is about recognizing that emotions are temporary visitors, not permanent truths. They come, they stay for a while, and they pass. What remains constant is the awareness behind them, the quiet observer who watches everything but is moved by nothing. Through consistent practice, you begin to realize that your mind is not the master of your life but a tool meant to serve it. Your challenges are not meant to break you, they are meant to introduce you to yourself. Every hardship you face, every moment that tests your patience, every failure that leaves you questioning your worth, all of it exists to reveal what lies hidden within you. It is easy to feel strong when life is simple, when everything follows your plans, and when comfort surrounds you. But true strength, the kind that does not fade when storms arrive, is born only in adversity. It is through resistance that power grows. Just as the blade is sharpened by friction and the seed breaks open before it can rise, you too must be tested before you can evolve. Pain is not a punishment, it is a teacher. It shows you where you are still fragile, where you still cling to comfort, where you still run from truth. When you understand this, suffering transforms from something to escape into something to learn from. Every obstacle carries a lesson disguised as difficulty. When people or situations challenge you, they are showing you the parts of yourself that still need attention. The anger you feel reveals where patience is lacking. The fear you face shows where trust has not yet grown. The frustration you experience exposes the depth of your attachment to control. Each struggle holds a mirror to your inner world. Most people resist what life gives them because they only see the discomfort is the birthplace of transformation. When you willingly step into the unknown, you awaken parts of yourself that you did not know existed. Every time you face something difficult, you are forced to adapt, to dig deeper, to expand your limits. Growth happens only when you push beyond what feels safe. It is in moments of uncertainty that your character is refined, that your mind learns resilience, that your heart learns courage. Challenges are not barriers meant to stop you, but thresholds meant to elevate you. Without resistance, there can be no progress. The mountain does not bow down to make your climb easier, it stands tall to help you rise higher. You do not become strong by avoiding weight, you become strong by carrying it, by lifting it again and again until your weakness turns into power. Every challenge is a silent invitation for you to meet the part of yourself that is unshaken by the world, the part that endures, adapts, and continues forward no matter how heavy the path becomes. When you face the storm, you learn that you are the storm. The world will not always be calm, and peace will not always come from silence. There will be times when chaos surrounds you, when everything you built begins to shake, and when nothing seems to make sense. In those moments, most people try to run. They look for shelter, for escape, for comfort. But those who understand the nature of life know that running from the storm only makes it last longer. The wind will chase until you turn around and face it. Strength is not found in avoidance, it is found in presence. When you stand still amidst the storm, when you let the wind hit your face and the rain soak your skin, something profound happens. You stop fearing the storm and start becoming part of it. You realize that the same energy that shakes the world around you also lives within you, and it can be directed, controlled, and transformed. Fear is the mind's natural response to uncertainty. It wants to know what comes next. It wants guarantees. It wants safety. But life offers none of those things. Every moment is unpredictable, every path unknown. The person who demands certainty will always live in fear, while the one who accepts uncertainty learns freedom. To confront fear is not to eliminate it, but to understand its purpose. Fear shows you where your edge is, the line between who you are and who you could be. When you walk up to that line and take one more step, fear dissolves because you have expanded your boundary. The storm does not disappear, you simply grow strong enough to stand within it. To rise above the mind is to see clearly that fear is only a thought, one that becomes real only when you feed it with belief. Most of the fears that hold people back never actually happen. They live entirely in the imagination, yet they create real paralysis in life. You can spend years trapped by what-ifs and possibilities that never come true. The moment you stop running from these shadows, you begin to reclaim your energy. Each time you walk into what you fear, you collect a piece of your power back. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the choice to move through it. Fear will always whisper, but your actions decide whether it stays or fades. When you confront fear, when you stop allowing your thoughts to dictate your limits, you begin to awaken a deeper truth, the realization that there was never an enemy to conquer. Your mind builds illusions to protect you, but those illusions become the cage that confines you. Once you look beyond them, once you see fear for what it is, you discover that peace was never outside the storm. It was always found in the calm that exists within you, waiting to be recognized in the middle of chaos. ChatGPT said, "Do not wait for perfect conditions, because they will never come." The mind loves to create reasons to delay, waiting for the right time, the right feeling, the right opportunity. But those who achieve mastery understand opportunity. Illusions become the cage that confines you. Once you look beyond them, once you see fear for what it is, you discover that peace was never outside the storm. It was always found in the calm that exists within you, waiting to be recognized in the middle of chaos. ChatGPT said, "Do not wait for perfect conditions, because they will never come." The mind loves to create reasons to delay, waiting for the right time, the right feeling, the right opportunity. But those who achieve mastery understand opportunity. It simply acts. It is the quiet decision to keep going when every part of you wants to stop. It is the ability to stand up, to move forward, to repeat the effort again and again until progress becomes inevitable. Every time you silence the voice of weakness, you strengthen the voice of power. The mind will always look for comfort. It will whisper that you have done enough, that rest is more important, that one day missed will not matter. But each small decision creates a direction. The moment you choose comfort over growth, you teach the mind that giving up is acceptable. The moment you choose effort over ease, you teach it that strength is built through persistence. Discipline is not harshness, it is self-respect. It is the recognition that your goals deserve consistency, that your potential deserves effort, and that your life deserves your full presence. The disciplined person does not chase motivation, they create movement, and movement creates energy, which in turn fuels the very
motivation that others keep waiting for.
The path of discipline is not glamorous. It is repetitive, quiet, and often unseen by others. You wake up early when no one watches. You practice when no one praises you. You struggle in silence while others rest. But over time, these invisible moments become visible results. Every act of discipline carves a new pattern in your mind, a pattern of strength, focus, and perseverance. You begin to trust yourself, not because everything is easy, but because you know you will not quit. That trust becomes your foundation. When life throws uncertainty your way, you do not crumble, Because discipline has already trained you to act without hesitation. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. It transforms intention into action and action into identity. You stop trying to be disciplined and start being the kind of person who simply follows through. The mind still resists at times, but your will has grown stronger than its resistance. Through repetition, discipline becomes natural, effortless even. What once felt like struggle becomes habit, and what once felt impossible becomes normal. The journey is not easy, and it was never meant to be. Every step forward demands effort, patience, and a willingness to endure. The path of growth is filled with uncertainty, sacrifice, and moments when giving up seems easier than going on. Yet it is within those very moments that the foundation of strength is built. The mind will always search for shortcuts, for smoother roads, for ways to escape struggle. But those who truly grow understand that it is the resistance itself that makes them stronger. Just as the body needs weight to grow muscle, the spirit needs challenge to develop resilience. Without friction, there is no progress. Without obstacles, there is no transformation. Life does not test you to see you fail. It tests you to help you see how much you can rise. When the journey becomes difficult, many people mistake struggle for failure. They begin to believe that difficulty means they are going the wrong way. But in truth, difficulty is often a sign that you are moving towards something meaningful. The easy path offers comfort, but it also keeps you stagnant. It asks for nothing and gives nothing in return. The hard path demands everything: your patience, your persistence, your belief, and in return it gives you strength, wisdom, and self-mastery. Every time you face a challenge and choose to keep walking, you are reshaping your identity. You are no longer the person who quits when things get uncomfortable. You become the person who endures, who adapts, who continues forward, even when the road disappears beneath your feet. The climb is long, and it often feels lonely. There are days when progress seems invisible, when all your effort appears to go unnoticed. But transformation is silent. Seeds do not grow the moment they are planted. They grow in darkness, beneath the soil, unseen. Only with time, care, and persistence does their strength become visible. The same is true for your growth. You may not see it daily, but every act of discipline, every moment of courage, every breath taken in the face of doubt builds something inside you. The process shapes you far more deeply than the destination ever could. Easy paths do not make strong people. The mountain is not meant to bend for you. It stands tall to teach you to climb. Each step upward burns, but with every step your lungs expand, your legs strengthen, your endurance deepens. What once felt impossible begins to feel familiar. The higher you climb, the clearer your vision becomes, not just of the path ahead, but of who you are becoming through the climb itself. The journey strips away what is unnecessary, leaving only what is true. The pain, the fatigue, the effort, all of it refines you. It teaches you to move not for applause or reward, but for the quiet satisfaction of knowing you did not stop when it mattered most.